If you are a woman in leadership and you struggle to take up space, own your voice, show up, step into your boundaries, and claim your confidence, this episode is for you. Welcome back to the podcast, my love. Okay, so I have just went off of, or I'm currently still in, a roadshow with one of the most incredible companies in the world, Deloitte. Now, they are one of the top 4 financial firms. They have this incredible women's program called Inspiring Women. And I got this incredible opportunity to support their female leaders to show up, stand up, speak up, and claim their space and their confidence to thrive as leaders. Now, I wanted to share some of the insights that I've been learning while being with these incredible women. I've had the opportunity to keynote and speak for different organizations that have specifically wanted to impact and support their female leaders. And so if you are a female leader, if you're running your own business, or if you're in high-level leadership, or you're wanting to grow into leadership in corporate, this episode is for you. We have to talk about this, my love, because it's wild, the things that we as women experience different to men. There are things that are happening for us on the landscape of leadership that need to be talked about more so that we can take it into our own hands, take radical responsibility, and shift the landscape of what's happening. So I want to introduce you to a few stats that I've been looking at. And one of them is really annoying and pisses me off, and hopefully will piss you off as well. And it's about self-promotion. So statistically, women are 5 times less likely to self-promote than men. We will not put ourselves forward. We will not say, hey, I'm amazing at what I do. Hey, I need a pay rise. Hey, can we discuss my payments? Hey, can we push me forward to another leadership role? I want to climb the corporate ladder. We don't do this. So 5 times less likely to self-promote than men. And I've asked these women in these communities, I'm like, why? What is happening? What's going on with us? And it always boils down to, we don't want to look too showy. We're very modest. We would rather get 100%, 200% great at what we do and then say we're ready, than men are like, I reckon I could do it. I think I can make that happen. They're not ready, but they believe in themselves. They back themselves. They have this confidence in themselves that they're like, I think I could figure that out. Yeah, sure. I'm going to give it a crack. I'm going to give it a go. And we are sitting here waiting to hit 1,000%. And it's wild because if we're not putting ourselves forward, if we're not showing up, if we're not putting our hands up, if we're not saying, hey, I'm ready for this, then how will we get the opportunities? That's first and foremost. Second, there's a stat that says that up to 70% of women are affected by imposter syndrome. And the wild thing is, compared to 58% of men, you're wrong. They're actually dealing with it as well. So why is it that we as women allow imposter syndrome, allow all this lack of self-belief and lack of confidence get in our way, especially when it comes to leadership, especially when it comes to leading ourselves? And so I have a little idea, a little theory, and I want to use this lens or this frame. I was in the military for 10 years, in case you didn't know. I was in the US Army. I worked for an infantry battalion. So those are the people that go off to war. I was in the administration and orders and medical and financial section. And so I never went to war. All the people I knew, my roommate, my husband at the time, my supervisor who became like a mom, everybody got sent off. I went to Korea to shop. That's where I went. It was like a fake war simulation. I didn't go to war, right? However, what I did get to see was the analogy of all of us in the military are on the battlefield. All of us are soldiers. We're all dressed. We got our gear. We got our M16s. We got our rifles. We're ready to go fight the battle. And let's say in this scenario, the battle is for women's rights. The battle that we're all fighting as women, listening to this podcast, watching me on YouTube, is the fight for women's rights. We're all fighting for that. So I want you to imagine we're all on the battlefield, ready to go fight the air quotes enemy that way. And some of us are shooting our own feet. Some of us are throwing a grenade at ourselves. Some of us are at war with ourselves. My friend, how will we win the war against women's rights? How will we win the battle? How will we win the war and battle if we are fighting ourselves? We need to fight this war. But some of y'all are out here fighting with yourselves. Some of you are unkind to yourselves. Some of you are meaner to yourselves than the patriarchy could ever be. So yes, we could point the finger and say, male-dominated patriarchy, pay gap, this, that, and the other. Yes, and it's true, and it exists. 100% it exists. However, are you kind to you? Are you fighting this way, or are you still fighting yourself? Because we cannot change things if women are at war with themselves. And so one of the main things that I want you to take away from this episode, one of the main things I want you to think about in your own world and how you show up and how you lead yourself is, are you fighting yourself? Have you made amends with yourself? Are you pointing the finger at the systems, at the industry, at your work, at your colleagues, at the corporate space, at leadership, at whatever, and not looking in the mirror and going, ooh, hold on a minute, how am I to me? How am I to myself? I love this quote and I use it a lot on International Women's Day. I think it's Lisa Hayes, and she says, be careful how you speak about yourself because you are listening. Be careful how you speak about yourself because you are listening. Imagine if you were kinder to you. Imagine if you were a nice person to yourself. Imagine if you had your own back. Imagine if you worked on your stuff, your limiting beliefs, your mindset, the stories that you tell yourself about yourself that are not true. Imagine if you questioned, if you inquired, if you asked better questions of yourself. Imagine if you got out of your own way. As I always say, what if the person stopping you was you? It is, baby. It's you. Remove yourself from the obstacle, and now we can actually all go that way, make this good fight, make some changes. What's going to happen? Then we're going to see that we've been blocking ourselves. We've been allowing people to treat us away. And listen to me, I'm working with these people, and this company does not mess around. There's some huge companies in the world that push their leaders, whether they're male or female or whatever, they push their leaders to the extreme. They have high standards. I and my company push my team to the high level. We have high standards here at the Queen of Confidence, okay? We work hard, we work fast, we make it happen. We're not messing around. I care about the details, the tiny things that most people overlook. I care about that. So if I care about that, my team needs to care about that. So I push them. I'm hard on them. However, I want you to think about this. If you don't have boundaries, if you don't teach people how to treat you, if you allow someone to push you and ask you to stay back after work and ask you to do the things that are not your job, and you say, yes, okay, no worries, and you do it because you're air quotes people pleasing, who is it hurting? And how do they know that you don't want to do it? How do they know? I was joking when I was at the keynote. I've done like a tour. So I've done 3 cities. And I said to them, is there a psychic medium department here in this company? Is there a psychic medium department at your company? No, there's not. Nobody in your business or in your company is a psychic, okay? Nobody can read your mind. So if you're at the boardroom and you are not speaking your truth, if you're not saying what you think, if you're not sharing your ideas or your insights, how will they know that you have something to say? How will they know that you have great ideas for the organization or the company? How will your team know that you want more from them if you're not willing to have that difficult conversation? So we really need to build our confidence to back ourselves and to be who we want to be in the moment and say the things that need to be said. We need to push past the discomfort. We're in our comfort zone thinking that we're going to grow. And I'm sorry, but you're not. You're going to get it wrong as well, by the way. So if you're a perfectionist, we need to move past that. You're going to get it wrong. You're going to say it wrong. You're going to mess it up. And with you doing that, you're going to learn. I shared with them a story about my son, Raven, who's 10. He wants to be the best soccer player in the world. And I tell him time and time again, get ready to suck. And he's like, Mommy, what are you talking about? I never said I want to suck. I want to be the best. I'm like, amazing. You want to be the best? You're going to suck. Because the best means you messed up multiple times, but you got back up and you went again and you learned from the mess up. You learned from when you messed up multiple times, and you're not going to do that again. So you're going to get better, and you're going to get better because you sucked so badly that now you're the best. You're the best because you sucked so bad. And my son looks at me like, what? I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying, Mom. I want to be messy. And I'm like, I get it. Messi had to mess up. He had to fall down. He had to suck. He had to get it wrong. He had to make the wrong choice. You think it was easy? You think he came out of the womb amazing and played perfectly and everything he did was perfect? Of course not. Anyone that you're looking up to, and if you're listening to me now and you're a high-level leader, you know what I'm talking about. You have had to suck. You've had to mess up. You've had to do the air quotes wrong thing in order to get to where you are now. And that's the point. Those are the things that grow your confidence. Those are the things that help you to back yourself. Those are the actual things that build that self-belief inside of you, that resilience, that challenge. You must go through that. It's an initiation. It's by fire. You need to burn a little bit and then come out the other side and go, whoa, here are my scars. I understand what it feels like. Now I know. Now I can lead. I can lead you. And don't worry, when you mess up, I'll be there to tell you it's okay. Get back up, dust it off, let's go again. No one even knows you fell. I fall multiple times. I fall all the time. And I allow myself, I don't kid myself. I go, Erica, if you think you're going to be the best public speaker, if you think you're going to be the best coach, if you think you're going to be the female Tony Robbins, which is a massive goal of mine, I want to support women in the way that Tony Robbins has built this incredible thing. I love him. I'm a fan. I love his work. So you think that you're not going to mess up? You think that you're not going to get it wrong? Of course you will. It's a part of the process. It's actually the best part of the process, because if you fall down and you get back up, what did you learn from that step you took? Oh, I stepped the wrong way. I did the wrong thing. Great. Next time I fall, it'll be different. And then I won't fall the time after that. And then I'm going to be going so far forward. But people need to understand that you're actually going to suck at what you do. And if you're okay with that, if you don't make that mean anything about you as a leader or as a human being, but basically say, this is me learning. When we see babies walking, they fall down all the time. No one's like, baby, you suck. Don't ever try to walk again. No, that baby is learning. You are also learning. You are learning how to self-promote. You are learning how to speak up at the boardroom. You are learning how to disagree with someone. You are learning how to say, excuse me, I have something to say. You are learning. Allow yourself to learn. You're going to suck as you learn, and that's part of the process. But if you're a perfectionist and you're trying to get it right and you want to be seen as someone who knows everything, that is the problem. That is you being at war with yourself. And so it's like, let's release that. Especially as leaders, I can't tell you the gift that radical responsibility is for your people. If you are leading people and you take radical responsibility and you mess up and get back up and say, whoa, I messed up and here's what I learned. Let me share this with you in case you fall down in this way. Let me let you know what happened for me. And let me tell you the steps that I took in order to get myself out of the hole. You have to get back up. At some point in time, put a Band-Aid on your cut, keep going. I've fallen. I don't know how many cuts I have. I've fallen so much. Sometimes I'm bleeding out and I'm like, oh gosh, okay, here we go. This is what we got to learn. It's a process of learning, of up-leveling, of getting better at what you do. One of the main core elements of what I've been speaking about, not only with these leaders, but other women that are in leadership, been really sharing about the fact that when you're stepping into confidence, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's not going to feel comfortable. And really at the core of what confidence building is, the word confidence itself comes from the root Latin word confidencia, right? Confianza, which means trust, literally refers to trust. So when you're like, I don't have confidence in myself, what you're saying is you don't trust yourself. Where are you breaking your trust? When you say yes, but you really wanted to say no. When you snooze your alarm. When you don't keep your word to yourself. That breaks trust every single day with yourself. So if you want to be more confident, consider that you need to build trust with yourself. You're just saying, I need to trust myself more. I don't have the trust in myself to wear that. I don't have the trust in myself to say that yet, but I'm learning how to do that. And anyone can grow their self-trust. Anyone can learn how to trust themselves more. Confidence is not something that is reserved for extroverts or high-level leaders or CEOs or founders. It's available to every single person who is willing to do what it takes. It doesn't feel good when you're building your confidence, when you're learning how to trust yourself. Imagine falling down time and time again and getting back up and learning from the fall. And so it's a really important thing because we all want to build confidence and we think it's this external thing that either some of us have or we don't. And so part of the things that we spoke about were the 3 key areas where I feel like today we could address these key areas. How are you showing up in your organization? How are you showing up day to day? And when I say showing up, I mean, are you there? You could be there, but not really present. Did you contribute? Were you actively present? Were you raising your hand? Were you speaking? Were you sharing what you believed in? Did we feel you walk in? What is the energy you're walking into these rooms with? Some of us are showing up and wanting to literally become invisible. We're not adding value. We're not engaging, and we're not speaking and sharing what we believe. And so technically, I would say you're not really there. It's like that analogy of like, I'm alive, but am I living? Yeah, you're alive, you got a pulse, but are you doing anything with your life? Are you actually living the life that you want to live? Are you going after the things that you desire? You could say I'm alive, but are you living? It's that same thing. Yeah, I'm here, my butt is in a chair in the office, but are you even here? Are you adding value? Are you sharing your truth? Are you here? And that was one of the things that we talked about showing up. And it reminds me of Martha Beck, and I love her. She was Oprah Winfrey's life coach. And she has this quote that says, how you do anything is how you do everything. It is in the philosophies of my life, like how I live as a coach, as a mother, as a woman, as a mentor, as a speaker, as an author, as a podcaster. How you do one thing is how you do everything. I live with that It's become a value of mine. If I'm talking about being magnetic, I am out and about and I'm being magnetic everywhere I am. I am talking to people. I'm making friends with my Uber driver. I am magnetic everywhere. Not sometimes, not when I want to put it on, all the time. Because how I do one thing is how I do everything. And so one of the things we spoke about is if you don't speak up, if you sit at the back of the room, if you're always looking down and have no eye contact, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Where else do you sit at the back of the room in your life? Where else are you looking down and not seeing the opportunity that is around you? There is opportunity everywhere, my love, if you are willing to see it that way. Or there's no opportunities because you suck and no one sees your value and you're so poor you, poor me. You get to play the victim. You get to say, you don't understand. I'm in this male-dominated thing and no one sees me. Take responsibility. How about that? How about you say, how am I showing up? What is the energy I'm bringing into this space? What am I making it mean when I walk into the room? When I'm sitting at the table, do people know I'm there? And if they don't, how can I take responsibility for that? Not pointing the finger out, but looking in the mirror and saying, where am I responsible for my results? And I would say everywhere. Everywhere. The crazy thing is, right? If you sit back, if you're quiet, if you sit there waiting to be asked, if you never share your opinion, if you don't speak up, when someone says, anybody have any questions, if you feel like you want to put your hand up, but you always resist and you do not put your hand up and you do not add value and you do not speak up, that's patterns that are keeping you stuck. That's not going to move you forward in leadership. That's not going to move you forward in your career. As a leader, you're an influencer. Who are you influencing? No one. When you're invisible, no one sees you, and then you will be overlooked. And I say this a lot to women. I'm like, listen, I'm a confident, busy woman who's got things to do. I'm on the go. I talk fast. I listen to everything on 2+ speed. I am intentional. I am moving with intentionality. I know where I'm going. I've got my vision and my purpose. I am on purpose and I am on fire. If your butt is in the chair, but I can't feel you or see you, if you will not speak up, if you don't make eye contact, if you don't make yourself be known, I, myself, as a woman, will overlook you. Not because I'm rude or I'm mean or you don't matter, but because you literally are trying to make yourself invisible. I don't have time for it. Show me that you're here. Take responsibility for your energy. Why should someone know that you're valuable if you're not willing to speak your truth and show me the value? Tell me what's in your head. Remember, I'm not a psychic medium. Remember, I can't read your mind if we work at the office together. I don't know. If you always show up and you never say anything and you look down and your arms are crossed and your body language is shriveled, it literally is telling me I can't be bothered and I don't want to be here. You think I'm going to ask you, hey, person over there that looks like you don't want to be here, do you have anything to add to the meeting? I'm not going to do that. So it's a taking responsibility. We talked about that. We talked about speaking up. Now, showing up is about visibility. If you haven't noticed already, visibility. When you are visible, people can see you. When they can see you, they know about you. So if you want to grow and you want to self-promote, you must be visible. The next part we talked about was standing up. And I think it's important when we talk about showing up, standing up. What does standing up mean? Does it mean physically standing up in the meeting? No, you don't have to physically stand up. However, when you're going to speak, I love to stand up because I'm taking up space, and standing energetically is so powerful because, again, you're standing, you're a pillar, your strength. There are so many moves that you can make. You can put your hands on your hips. You can do the Superman thing. You can do all of that stuff that actually will help you feel more confident. But let's say you don't physically stand up. Standing up is, what do you believe in? What do you stand for? What are your values? Do you walk and talk your values? Are you walking and talking your beliefs, the things that are important to you? And when you know what you stand for and you have your boundaries and you have your self-respect, you are in alignment. Every time that I've been in a situation where I felt out of alignment, I felt out of sorts, I felt like I wasn't myself, I knew that one of my values, my top 3 values, were sacrificed. They were compromised. I've been in masterminds and had mentors that they valued something that I totally didn't value. They valued money and they valued, jets and cigars and private thing and Gucci and whatever. I don't value that. That's not valuable to me. If that's for you, no shade. But for me, it wasn't valuable. And because I didn't know what I stood for and I didn't know my values, I joined this program and I'm watching my mentor and I'm like, yeah, private jets, yeah, Gucci. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I don't actually value that. You know what you value? Check your calendar. That's what you value. What you spend your time on is what you value. And look at that and be honest with that. And if there's something that's out of alignment for you, great. Have a look at the values. If you haven't done this before, I have a podcast of like, what are your values? There's a whole exercise on the podcast. I'll see if I can link it below so you can listen to it. Values are everything. We are led by them. And it is in the frame. Your values are the frame in which you make decisions. So if you don't know what you value, or if your values are compromised and now you have to make decisions, you're going to feel out of alignment. It's an easy fix for you to go, what do I value? Who am I? What do I stand for? What's important to me? Now you can work at an organization. You can respect the organization. You can respect your leaders, and you can respect yourself by standing in your values. You do not have to agree to everyone. You don't have to be agreeable and be a good girl and be a people pleaser. The great thing about women in organizations is we have a special set of skills. We have a different secret sauce than men do. It's not better or worse, it's different. We have empathy, we have compassion. We have the secret sauce that can shift organizations' culture just by being a woman, by being who you are. There are so many incredible things that you add to the landscape. And if you really want to make some moves towards greater equality and innovation and openness, you can literally shift this in your organization when you're stepping into your values, when you're showing up, when you're speaking up, when you're taking up space. The final one that I want to talk about is speaking up. And this isn't just speaking your voice and sharing your truth, but this is about you knowing that you have something to add and it's super uncomfortable, and that's when you need to do it. Remember the stat about self-promotion. We won't promote ourselves. We won't ask for a pay rise. We won't ask for more money. And I want to invite you to advocate for yourself, because when you advocate for yourself, you advocate for her, for the other woman, the woman next to you, the woman coming behind you. When they see you as representation, oh my gosh, we can do this. I just look for evidence, my friend. I look for evidence of other women who have done what I want to do, and they have been able to do it. As opposed to me go, oh, you don't understand, I can't because insert reason here. I go, well, who has? Who has done it before? She did it. How did she do it? And I look to her as a model, and I look for evidence. The reality is, if you refuse to speak up and share your perspective, your value, or your ideas, you are literally holding back your ability to progress and grow. And no one is going to bump into your head and go in there and say, hey, do you have good ideas, Erica? You need to do that. It's on you to make that change. It's on you to speak your truth. And it's scary. Of course it is. I told you, confidence feels like crap. You're going to go through some terrible emotions on your journey to building confidence. That's the point. If you were comfortable, you'd be bored and you wouldn't do anything. We're supposed to overcome this. This is what building resilience looks like. It's you pushing out of your comfort zone. It's you standing up. It's you showing up, speaking up, standing up, taking your space unapologetically. It's you overcoming the beliefs that tell you that you're not enough, that you're not valuable, that you can't because insert reason here. It's you overcoming that and doing your internal work. And imagine what would be possible if you asked for what you wanted without apologies. Woo! Imagine the value that you would be able to add when you sat at the table and said, hey, everyone, so I don't normally contribute, but I really do have something to share. Can I get a moment to share my opinions here? Yes, amazing. Thank you. Go ahead. And now you speak your truth. And you could say, so I don't really know how to say this, so I'm going to do my best. Patience with me, please. Let me figure out my thoughts. I feel like this would be a great idea. I believe this. This is the way that I want to move forward. We should do this, blah, blah, blah. Put your ideas down. And the cool thing is, if you are genuinely nervous about it and it feels weird, say that. Say that. Be truthful. Be honest. Own that. That's going to give you so much confidence in yourself to allow yourself. I jokingly say, if I start speaking Spanish, I'm so sorry. Let me know. Just wave at me. Because when I get really excited and I talk really fast, empiezo a hablar español y después estoy en otro idioma y no me pueden entender ustedes. Who cares? Mess up. Allow yourself to mess up. You're trying to be all perfect and get it together and be all presentable. And then at the same time, you're holding back and you're not stepping into your influence. You're holding back and you're not growing. You're not letting people know that you have some value to add. Okay, so recapping. Confidence is you building trust with yourself. How do you build trust? You suck a lot. And then you get back up and you get better. Every time you get back up, you get better. But you must get back up. And you must be willing to fall down in order to get back up and get better. Okay? Show up. Showing up is you being present, energetically being there, claiming your space, eye contact, adding value. Standing up. What do you stand for? What are your values? Are you compromising your values? Are you out of alignment? That's your responsibility, my friend. No one else's. Not the organization, not your boss, not your team. your responsibility. Where are you breaking your values? Are you in alignment with what you believe in? What are you standing for? Are you respecting yourself and what you back? Boundaries all the way. And they're not easy, by the way. Boundaries are not preferences. Okay, remember that. And number 3, speaking up, speaking your truth unapologetically, getting it wrong, saying the wrong thing, but being willing to have the conversations, being willing to add your piece so you can be seen as someone who's adding value because you want to. This is the way to do this. You have to be heard. You have to be seen. You got to claim your space. If you want to be acknowledged, if you want a pay rise, if you want to make more money, if you genuinely want to change the landscape of leadership for women in your organization or in the world, this is what is required. Like this video, tag a woman who needs to hear this, share this episode with someone. Let me know if you want more of this. We're in a great time right now, my friend, where we have the ability to support one another, to fight the good fight that way, to stop battling ourselves and to claim our space. And as I always say, it's not can you do it, it's will you. I'll see you next week.